Okay, hello. Welcome to another episode of Album Check, episode 14. I'm joined once again by special guest Jonah.
What's up, guys? How's it going? They
I'd
can't
just like to
reply to us. I
clarify.
don't know why I asked that.
I would just like to clarify that Jonah is not a co-host, but a recurring special guest.
Hey, hold on a minute. I thought it was the other way around. I came up with the name. This is my podcast.
This is what prompted this. I was talking to my dad about it, and he's like, "Oh, you're doing that thing for Jonah's podcast." I was like, "Jonah's podcast?
Oh, wow.
Excuse me."
No, we're a communist podcast. It's
All
everyone's
shared.
podcast. Yes.
Until someone sponsors us, in which case we run very far in the opposite direction. But yes, this week we're talking about the most recent Paramore album, After Laughter.
Yeah, 2017?
2017. I'm quite excited to talk about this one because
Me too.
I really like Paramore. My kind of background in music, when I was a young teen, forming his
Lots of youngin'.
identity, I got really into the whole pop punk thing. I love My Chemical Romance and got really into Paramore. So, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so there's a lot. Got really into pop punk stuff. Most of it sucks. Like it's so oversaturated in the 2000s. There's like a lot of shitty pop punk bands. But Paramore, in my opinion, were one of the best ones. And
they really hit it quite big too.
Yeah, like she started when she was 16.
Seriously?
The debut
Is that when
album,
their first album came out?
It was 2005.
That's I hate people like that. I hate.
It's crazy.
That's so
but
annoying.
Yeah, 2017, their most recent album. It's a bit of a left turn.
I love that.
I mean, should we just get? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things in the world when artists just sort of throw everything in your face right back at you and just do something completely different and still make it resonate. Like that's so exciting and fun to me because it introduces you to new sounds and new emotions, and yeah, it's awesome. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should just get straight into it with the first track, Hard Times, because if you're familiar with Paramore's previous work, the kind of loud guitars, angry shouty vocals, you start the first track on this and it starts with a xylophone, and you're like, wait, what? What? This is completely different. They've abandoned the sort of pop punk they're known for, and they're going pop.
Yeah, it's just straight up pop on a lot of this.
And I remember when this album first came out, because it was like, oh, Paramore new music, and initially I was like, oh no, no, this is not the stuff I like. But
you got all pretentious about it, did you?
Well, I was like 15, Jonah. Of course I did.
Nothing's changed
then. But no, even like then it really like grew on me, and I think this is their best album. And Hard Times, I think, is like a great start. I mean, again, the xylophone just completely switching it up. You're just like immediately going, this is not what you're expecting or what you've heard before.
And it's the first of many songs about being really, really sad while pretending to be really happy, because it sounds like a fun pop album, even though it's not.
Yeah, like it's so like light at the start. You're like, and it's like kind of groovy, even with the kind of drums, like that drum fill leading you in, and you're like, oh, here we go. And it's talking about how, oh, shit's really hard. I'm really sad on the inside.
It's absurdly catchy, which is a very recurring sort of theme on this album. The hooks on this project are ridiculous. They are so sticky, they are memorable, and they are fun to listen to, even though they are communicating some very sad emotions in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and it's done so well. I love the writing on this album. Like, there's the line on this song, "We'll kick it when I hit the ground," which is so like darkly comic. Like when you kind of crash, we'll hang out. It's really funny.
and there's like the bridge, "Tell my friends I'm coming down,"
Mm.
and her voice like goes down. You know that whole thing. A bunch of people have done it, but it's still like it's cool.
Yeah, yeah. My
Um,
my favorite is and I'm gonna get to rock bottom. The way she sings that, and she sings it
yeah,
so like cheery, as if
it's like
this
a
is some sort
chant.
of aspirational thing to like hit
Yeah,
rock bottom. It's
Y-
great.
my favorite sort of sonic part about this song is the 80s vocoder line at the end. It just sounds
Mm.
like straight up Daft Punk. Like there's a lot of influences on this album. Um, I think there's a few times where I was like, that's Daft Punk. That's definitely Daft Punk.
Mm. There's a big Fleetwood Mac influence as well. I saw them live for this album, and they played some like Fleetwood Mac songs,
Oh, that's
which
sick.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
yeah, I also love on this the chorus for this. They sort of in the background they have like the pitch shifted vocal of them saying hard times. It just makes it sound
Mm.
kind of different. It's interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Because
great.
like it's normally with guitar music, a lot of people are like, oh, you need sort of pure unprocessed vocals, but nah, the processed vocals could be sick too. Don't
Yeah,
limit the sounds that you can sort of utilize.
exactly. Yeah, this is a great song. I love it. Great start to the album.
Okay, next up is Rose Colored Boy.
Mm.
Another banger. There's a lot of bangers on this album, and this is one of them.
Yeah, I love the kind of with so many of the songs the kind of concept of what the song's about. You know, so rose colored boy, it's kind of referring to rose colored glasses. Whenever you like look at something with rose colored glasses, you're seeing things through like a filter that makes things look better
Yeah,
than they actually are.
often
Um,
nostalgic or
yeah, it's worth noting
similar.
as well that just for context for this album, it was made like after the lead singer Haley Williams divorced or broke up from her husband.
Mm,
So that kind of sets this context for why a
yeah.
lot of this album is so sad.
Yeah, and it's just straight up like referenced on at least a couple of the songs.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it's definitely that was a driving event behind a lot of this.
Yeah, so I think he's kind of the rose-colored boy.
Um, I love the sort of irony of this song because it sounds super fun and upbeat, but it's about how like excessive optimism is really annoying. And
Mm.
I think that's a very funny sort of concept to roll along with,
Mm.
and it sort of builds that atmosphere. There's these chants that come in. I am a sucker for chants.
Yeah, that
Like,
like low key, no pressure, just hang with me and my
yeah,
weather.
exactly. So sticky, so catchy. Once again, the chorus is unbelievably good. You will not get that out of your head. And man, the bridges on this album are nuts.
Mm. They're really
They're
strong.
yeah, it like completely sort of shifts the direction that the song is moving in, but it manages to loop back and feel super exciting. Like it builds a lot of
Really coherent as
anticipation.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's on like the refrain here. There's a great bit where you've got the harmony of her singing like ooh, and then the like chugging of that guitar. I think it's pan muted as well, which makes it sound like it's being sort of restrained,
Mm,
and it's just it's really powerful and exciting.
mm.
And kind of jumping back to what you were saying earlier about how sad but happy it sounds. Like I love the kind of pop reversal here of if you think of like popular pop songs like Roar by Katy Perry or like Shake It Off by Taylor Swift, they're all very like empowering in a be great, be happy, you can do it sort of the way.
Mm.
Whereas this song is about how she's gonna cry. You
Yeah.
know,
It takes
like
the aesthetic and reframes it.
yeah, totally, and just being like, I am really sad, and I will cry if I want to.
Yeah, it's really that's a fantastic idea to run with, I think. And to this album is remarkably cohesive in that regard. Like they
Yeah,
pull it off consistently without it getting boring because there's a lot of varied sonics
yeah. This is again just another pop.
for sure. Um, Next up we have "Told You So," 3 for 3
Mm.
so far.
Mm.
This
Yep.
this is again another wonderfully pessimistic song. my favorite line from this is "the best is over and the worst is yet to come." It's
Mm.
I think that's hilarious, but uh, equally sad.
I love how this song starts because it's just because her voice is like incredible,
Mm,
and it's just her singing like that "For All I Know," and she really kind of punctuates each word of that.
mm,
Then like all the instruments come in,
mm-hmm.
and whenever I saw them live playing this, my memory of that is like they opened with this song, and they like the lights are off, and it's like boom, open with this, and then everything comes on,
Oh,
everyone erupts. It was
that's sick.
perfect. It was perfect.
That is sick. That is. Oh, I'm kind of jealous, to be honest. I wish I was more into them at the time, but hey. Um, again, the chorus is insane. It's so lively. That's the word that I kept coming back to,
Mm.
and it's really sonically creative. Is that I don't know if it's like a steel stringed guitar, but it sounds. It's just like slightly different, um,
Yeah,
to a normal guitar, and that is exciting.
I love that kind of the way it has this kind of like real up and down sort of um melody to that chorus.
Mm.
That's like really as is really really fun
And there's like
and
this call and response with the guitar. Like she
yeah.
sings something, and the guitar gives you a little riff to sort of catch your ear, and then back to her singing is really really cool.
Oh, it's awesome. And then I get just the whole concept again, just about people saying like, "I told you this was gonna happen."
Mm,
I hate to say it, but I told you this was gonna happen.
yeah,
It's
and
fun.
more specifically, like being famous, like you can't make those mistakes because if there's this overwhelming sort of majority of, or what feels like a majority of people like that. Of course, that
Mm.
was stupid. What did you think was gonna happen?
Again, there's the bridge on this is just beautiful. That whole throw me into the fire, um, pull
Mm,
me out again. It's just they spend a lot of time on it, but I love that.
yeah.
It's so beautiful, and the last one where she really like kind of yells that like pull me out again, but then it kind of the scream sort of like drowns out, and then you get the kind of the guitar riff coming.
Mm,
Like every time, I still get really. I've listened to this album a lot, and I still get really excited by that moment.
yeah, that's really cool. I love songs like that. They just never fail to give you those tingles where it's like, ooh, yeah,
Mm.
that hits the spot.
Yeah, and the final like the final word it's almost it's sung in like a backing vocal, but the final kind of told you so at the end, the very last line,
Mm,
I quite like as a just as a to wrap that song up.
yeah.
It's nice. It's nice.
Um. So I think next track is my first sort of dud on this. I don't know if you have a similar opinion.
For forgiveness,
Yeah.
no, I don't think it's a dud. I don't think it's a dud at all. I think it's placed very well on the album because this is kind of you got like three kind of pop bops which are
Mm,
great, and you do then okay, we're pulling it back a little bit and we're going for a sort of slower one. I think it needs
okay.
that for the pace of the album. I think if you lost it, it would hurt it.
It would, but I don't think this is the song to do it.
Okay.
The first three songs display, even though like thematically they're not touching on anything super insane, like their themes are really summarized by the title,
Hmm.
and it doesn't delve into them a whole lot more in the lyrics. But with this one, sonically, it just feels so much more stagnant. There's nowhere near as much interesting instrumentation. That the lyrics and everything, they just feel sort of clunky and amateurish. It, this does very very little for me.
Hmm. Yeah, like I think you're being a little harsh. Look, it is kind of it's not a particularly deep song, and I can see what you're saying about with the kind of your voice is a gun, every word is a bullet whole lines. I can
Yeah,
I
that's
can
just
sort of
corny
I
and
can sort
not
of
endearing corny.
Yeah, I can sort of get behind that, but I really like the chorus. I love the kind of um backing vocal like comes with it. The electric guitar on this one sounds so much softer, which I think it's really really beautiful. And with the kind of context behind it, I quite like the idea of the song about being hurt but not really quite being able to let go of what they've done.
Mm, fair enough.
You get no emotion from it. You don't no
Very,
feels for you.
very little. Primarily, I just don't think the instrumentation is able to carry these lyrics in this case for
Mhm.
me.
I,
It's not
I
like atrocious, but it's definitely a skip.
see. I quite like the come down from a song like "Told You So." When you think of the idea of like someone going, "I told you so," or being like, "I told you so," there's a kind of position of "Aha, I got one over you" sort of thing.
And then,
Whereas forgiveness is much more kind of vulnerable
yeah,
song. I like that kind of balance in the track list. But yeah,
yeah,
I
that
can
that
understand. I can
that
understand your.
that is a cool dynamic. I'll give you that. But then we pick back up again
Hmm.
with fake happy. I
I
like
love
this.
the little intro we get with this. It's just her and her guitar, and it's just very intimate, and it's very intimate. It's kind of a look under the curtain,
Mm,
um, and how it's this one sounds is kind of genuinely how she feels. Well, the rest of this song and the rest of the album has a happy sound but sad lyrics.
yeah.
Where this is, you kind of you get sad sound, sad lyrics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um. The like you said, the simplicity of it is fantastic because when the more exciting instrumentation comes in, it's super unexpected, and you're like, "Whoa, what?" And your ears immediately like standing to
Yeah,
attention.
that
You
first
want to
like da
know,
da 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 da, and
yeah,
you're like you're brought in.
yeah. That synth is go. I feel like I just say synth on this podcast all the time. Synths are the sickest instrument ever because they can be so completely varied. Um, and I love on this song the lyric it's easy when I stomp on a beat. Um, she's like saying, it's easy to seem fake happy when there's a, sort of a fun instrumental in the background.
Mm.
Um, like a lot of the songs on this album sort of portray. Like if you listen to them without listening to the lyrics, you just think they were happy as hell, even though they're
Oh
not.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, look, I love the theme of this. The idea of having to pretend that you're fine when you're not,
Mm,
and again, the whole kind of sound of the album kind of really exemplifies that theme. I mean, kind of fake happy kind of sums up the crux of a lot of this
mm.
album, I think, because the whole album sounds really happy, but oh
It's not.
no, I'm sad. Um, I I like having that in a kind of pop song as well, just to kind of really what I said before. It a more vulnerable pop song,
Mm,
about I think it's good to have that kind of voice and role model.
mm.
Um, but I've got to say, I think the line "fake happy" is kind of clunky.
It is a little. Yeah.
Like I really like the song.
There is a better way to articulate that that's more interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, so I feel like I should offer some sort of solution. But "fake happy" kind of clunky,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just can't quite get past that part of it. Like I get what you're saying, but it's not very elegant.
It isn't.
Um,
Yeah. It doesn't feel like they really process the theme fully so that they can approach it from a more interesting angle.
mm. I just think it needs different words for that. But
Yeah.
like the rest of the song is great. Um, I love those sort of like accents on the smile with my teeth, and the kind of exhale at the end of
Yeah.
that sort of
Mhm.
creates like a beat to it. There's just so much kind of attitude to that, which
Mhm.
I'm such a fan of.
Yeah. Um I the musically the arpeggios that come in later, they have just such a whimsical quality to them. It's really bright and airy,
Mhm.
and more chants on the bridge. Just give me chants all the time. They are
Mhm.
perfect. Every song should just have chants. So yeah,
And
sorry, go on.
the final like the choir going like ba da ba da ba ba
Yeah, yeah.
is is great. I think really does a great job of that. I'm smiling, but I'm dying on the inside.
That's a mood. That's a whole ass mood.
That's an after laughter mood.
um. So yeah, what's up next? 26. Yes,
Mm.
yes. This is a good down pay or down tempo song. This is what the kind of thing that Forgiveness should sound like.
Right, this is the crazy thing, right? Because I should have checked this beforehand, but I believe it's called 26 because she was 26 when she wrote this,
I sort
which
of
is
assumed as much.
crazy because again to me it feels like Paramore. Even when this came out, that Paramore had been around for like a while.
Mm,
So the fact that
they
she's so
have.
young when this is what their fifth album or something,
Yeah.
and she's
They're
26.
still like a sort of youth icon. I feel like I could phrase that better. I hate that wording, but you know,
Yeah, no, it's I don't know, it's crazy. Um, but beautiful song. It's a kind of finger style acoustic,
mm,
and again, it's another great one. Kind of pulling it back. It feels more. That always feels just so intimate, but
mm,
it can be really difficult to do those kind of songs because it's very easy for it to get boring very quickly.
mm.
And we kind of have that like electric guitar come in at 50 seconds. It just adds something to it, keeps it interesting. I think it would have struggled without it.
For sure. I have that exact same thing written down. It's so nice when that comes in, and that this track really sustains. It's not even especially long, but it completely justifies its runtime to me because they
Mm,
have that obviously that extended outro with the gorgeous strings, and
mm.
I'm so glad they just let that play out for a while.
The strings
Whenever
on this are beautiful.
they're, oh my god, they're like transcendent. Um, her vocals on this, they're like you say, super intimate. She mic'd really closely,
Mm,
and I think amplifies that. There's some really good lyrics too, like "You got me tied up, but I stay close to the window." I think
mm.
it sort of betrays like looking outwards because this song is about trying to stay hopeful, and I think she references an older song, um,
Oh, I
where
didn't pick up
she's.
on that.
Well, I think I read it on Genius. There's a song where she was like sort of being super pessimistic, and she brings up a line from that song on this. It's
Hmm.
like I don't think like that anymore. That's toxic and not healthy, and that's just some really sort of interesting character development, and makes Haley feel like a 3D person
Mm.
who's kind of gone through stuff.
I,
Um,
I,
yeah.
even with what she's how she's delivering lines as well, like on that man, you really bring me down. She sounds sort of like defeated whenever she's
Mm,
singing that, and I mean that's what all the kind of, in my opinion, like great songs singers and stuff do is that it's not just singing it well, but if you can kind of communicate a sort of emotion or something with how
mm,
you say it, like that's really interesting to me.
yeah.
And yeah, I really like it there. It just kind of adds a little texture to it, you know.
Yeah, definitely. This is one of my favorite ones on here, for
Yeah,
sure.
no, I definitely. And it is followed by Pool, which God, this album is so good. This album is just so good. Like, how do they do these watery sounds at the start? It sounds like
I
water droplets.
don't know, but it's just some kind of weird chime sound, and they're sort of kind of offbeat, and I love the way it's contrasted with the super hard guitar. Like
Mm.
the meshing textures that you wouldn't normally put together is awesome.
Oh, it's great. The guitar is just fantastic on this. It's like a combination of like a phaser and reverb, kind of gives it this like really underwatery feel.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's called Pool, so being underwater makes
Way.
sense like thematically, but but it sounds great as well. And
Yeah.
oh, I love it. The the guitarist said about the song that there's a lot of love songs to go, oh, this person is so great, while there's like a more genuine, flawed idea of this person. The idea that they could like drown them. I think that's a really interesting idea for a song, and I find it really compelling.
The sort of metaphor of the pool works really well because it's like if you dive in, you're completely consumed by the relationship or the water, even though it's potentially very dangerous for you. So I think that the way of communicating that's the sort of language and imagery that Fake Happy could use.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Like the chorus is great with that. You know, they do that back and forth of the
they do that so much on this album. It's amazing.
It's a great effect. You know, that I'm underwater, then like no air in my lungs, and it works so well because she's singing like both lines differently, so it makes that kind of catch and release. It gives each kind of part of it a unique sort of voice. There's a part of this where water droplets sound like they've been like reversed, and
is that weird swell?
Yeah,
I assumed that was a synth, but that does sound like a water drop. That's awesome.
We need you to create like a jingle for like pretentious corner moment, like where I like some like 3-second little thing for whenever I say something that might be smart or might be like bullshit. You never know. But could that be like signifying her like looking back sort of thing? She's kind of doing the as if her blood didn't thrill enough, like looking back at what she's doing and then going back into like the first person. Like, I wonder, is it better to get over with? I'm like currently questioning myself.
If you want to believe that, I'm happy for you, man.
All right, okay. There will be a day where I'll come up something and you'll be like, "Oh my, that is genius." But not today.
Not today. You'll get
probably better that you don't actually. If you can you imagine like how big assholes we would sound if you were like, "Oh my god, Connor, that is genius. How did you?"
Anyway,
I do not. I'm supposed to see things that aren't there.
I won't hold a grudge. That's gonna be a pain to edit. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Like, I appreciate the segue into our next song, Grudges. Yeah, this is interesting. Are you aware of the whole drama that the song's about?
Loosely.
Well, I'm gonna explain it anyway. Oh yeah, you go.
Okay, you'll know more details than me.
I don't, because it's not that important. But Paramore has had a troubled lineup because they all got together when they were like 16, and they're like, okay, you guys, you're a rock band now, and they're like, we're a rock band now. What? We're not even like people yet. So there's been kind of members have left and they've publicly been like, oh, Haley's trying to steal all the spotlight and do all this stuff. I can't remember who's who because I have better things to do with my time than follow the drama of this band. But was it the drummer?
Yes.
I can't remember.
Yes,
drummer left in 2010 and then he came back for this album and he's like, I'm back, guys, and this song is about letting go of the grudges that because he left for personal reasons, for issues he had with him and Hayley Williams, the lead singer, fell out, I believe.
Okay.
And now he's back, and they're like, okay, it was pretty dumb that we had held these grudges for so long, wasn't it? Because we're actually pretty good mates.
I like to imagine that he just like shows up at random to the studio one day and starts beating the crap out of the new drummer. And it's just like, get out of here, boy. I'm back. And they're like, what? Hold on. It's been 7 years.
Where have you
he like shoves the drumstick up his nostrils.
This is where Jonah's mind goes. Just horribly violent.
I just thought of that on the spot. I love it. It's amazing.
The song is literally about like letting go of grudges, and you're like, I bet he's a horribly violent man.
No, I don't think he is. I just think it would be funny if he was. I don't know what that says
Okay,
about
right.
him,
Look,
but
let's talk about the actual the song. Um, I'm sorry, I can't get past this. um, yeah, look, so it kind of starts with the first line is strange. We find ourselves exactly where we left off. This kind of it's almost like a first person account from like Hayley Williams of what it was like meeting up again,
Mm,
and her kind of trying to guess what he's thinking,
yeah.
sort of thing. Like, are you recounting all my faults? Are you racking your brain just to find them all? I love the delivery of both of those lines,
Mm.
and then into the chorus of like, oh, we wasted all this time just holding on to
Being
grudges
stupid.
when we were like 19. This is silly. We should be friends again, and it's
Yeah.
nice. This is like the one song that's sounds happy and genuinely is happy in the lyrics.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say like there's an exception on this album.
Mm,
Um, that my favorite part about this song is so cool. There's like a guitar and a synth, but the sounds they've chosen make it the sounds sort of blend together into one, and it's just this sick sort of texture that has the more organic nature of a guitar
mm.
with the synthetic sound of the synth, and merging them. That's how you make the most interesting sounds, in my opinion. You get tangible things and sort of less tangible things. You get the qualities of both and make something sick. And that I keep coming back to this song for that reason. Um,
That's great. That's half of like good art is like taking this clump of a thing and this clump of a thing and being like, what happens if I stick them together?
yeah.
And most of the time it's shit, but sometimes it's really
Once in a
cool.
blue moon. Yeah, I love how like fast paced this song feels. I
Yeah.
think that this is a very, very liberal use of the snare drum, which is a great way to give a track some real oomph and energy. And that just I want to bring up the post choruses again,
Mm,
because this one just sounds so spacious and open with that vocal effect, and just builds so much hype for the sort of forthcoming material.
yeah.
I love it.
And those like real drum hits on the laugh till we cry, which is I don't know why I always kind of really cling to that line whenever it comes on. Um,
Hmm.
there's a lot of like woos in here, which I love, but it
Hmm.
doesn't sound like it sounds like they record like away from the mic or whatever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just it's just kind of fun.
It's like
Um,
friends are in the studio with them screaming or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
I'm just realizing the Zach Farrow, he has vocal credits on the bridge, so that's kind of
Oh,
cool.
that's cool. Yeah, it is nice. We're all friends again. But the happiness does not last long because she is caught in the middle of I don't really know. That's the next
I
song. We're
I
talking about the
I
next song.
I do know. I think I
Oh.
know. That said, I don't like this song. This is the chorus is good. The verses on this are boring. Those
What?
chords are whack. That bass is clunky as hell. No. No, 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 no. I know this is like a really popular one, but I don't get this song, man.
What? This just has so much groove on it.
No, it's boring. I hate those chords so much.
What? What?
Mm,
It just grooves so much. I love that. The whole idea of it of being, it's quite general. Like I'm being dragged in two different directions, and it's tricky.
mm.
And
Oh, that's a interesting my interpretation is slightly different.
oh, go for it.
I think, or I interpreted that she's sort of looking back on her past self, and she's sort of regretful and not happy with it, but looking forward to the future, she fails to be optimistic. So she's in this weird limbo period
Oh, I don't see.
They're kind of
I don't
caught in the
think she's
middle.
optimistic about the future at all on
No,
this
no,
album.
she's not. She's not optimistic. That's what I'm saying. So she's caught in this,
Oh,
in the
sorry,
middle of
sorry.
these two sort of the horrible things,
Hmm.
the regret and the pessimism.
Right. Well, you're wrong.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, look, I can totally see that. Um, I just can't believe you don't like this. It just sounds great. I love the chorus; is so catchy.
Of course,
Um,
it's good.
there's so much life behind it. I love the I can sabotage me by myself.
Yeah,
I
that's a
don't
pretty good
need
line.
like that's there's just so much kind of the dark comedy of that, which kind of appears in little spurts throughout this album, which I really
Mm,
really like. And I'd never heard it before until like literally when I was listening to this album today, and I've had this album on.
for a
I've
long
listened to this
time.
album a lot, like over several years,
Mm,
and at the end there's the repeated over the I can sabotage me by myself. Then underneath it's sung like all the glory days are gone, it's over now,
mm.
which is so sad.
That's very dark.
It's so sad.
Yeah, especially like I don't know if you could say they've especially waned in relevance, but I think they have possibly taken a bit of a popularity decline. They're
Mm,
still very much relevant, but I think that's sort of referencing that
mm.
potentially. And also, just backtracking slightly, but to back up my theory from before, the pre-chorus, the lyrics are nostalgia's cool, but it won't help you now. A dream is good if you don't wear it out.
Mm.
So looking back is awful. Looking forward is awful. You're caught in the middle.
So I love that the vocal effect they have on that "Don't Wear It Out" there, where it's
Yeah.
kind of I don't know what it is, but they kind of pull it down or something. It's kind of half of the words till it's almost chopped off. It sounds really.
Mm,
I'm not doing it justice, but it sounds awesome.
sick. Awesome.
Well, look, leave us a comment on our Instagram telling us why I'm right and Jonah's wrong.
Hold on a minute. This is my podcast, Colin. It should be the other way around. um, idol worship. Oh my god.
Hmm.
Oh my god. Just let me think about this synth for a minute and soak it in. Like what? How do you
Like the start of
sound
this,
design something like that?
it sounds like a whirring noise or something. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, but it's so cool.
Oh, just the main sort of musical idea that they play about with on this a lot, I think, is the like a sliding motion. Like the bass line is sliding, they bend the notes, and the guitar does the same thing all
Mm.
over the place. It gives the track a really cohesive feel. Um, the la la chanting is again chants awesome, sick, and the chorus on this when the chords come in is just absolutely nutty. That's one of the best choruses on the album, I think.
Yeah, hard agree. And it is all backed up by, for me, what is the most thematically interesting song in the album. Like,
Mm,
firstly, the title, I think it's just a great combination of words, idol worship.
yeah.
But there's a lot of songs out there about the stresses of fame. This is probably one of my favorites because
Wow.
it's just so interesting to me because she's just in this position where she can't feel like she's allowed to make a mistake
Yeah.
by her fans. There's that line, "Just let me let you down," I
Mm,
sung beautifully, and then there's that point where she screams like, "Your savior doesn't look a thing like me," with like the big drum beats behind it, and has such impact, and it's probably the most aggressive she gets on the album, the closest she probably gets to that kind of older sort of Paramore
mm,
scream. And it's nice to see that break through a little bit about it, or
mm.
break through a little bit. I, yeah, I just love that like, really vulnerable feeling of like, oh my god, all these people look up to me, and I cannot disappoint them. I can't do anything quite.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
human, and I'm
it's
stuck here.
it's weird that this to me that this theme keeps coming up in music, because unless you're on that level, you just cannot relate that experience to anything in your life. It's entirely
Well,
isolated.
speak for
to
yourself, Jonah. My
Mm-mm.
my legions of adoring fans. I am under constant pressure.
But it's to sort of, I think it's quite difficult to make that interesting if you're in their position. So I'm always very impressed when a song pulls it off and makes you feel for them when there's no point of reference that you can have as just
Yeah,
a
that's a great
normal
point.
person.
That's a
So
great
yeah,
point.
I think that's definitely to this song's credit.
And that kind of theme really continues on to the next track, No Friend, which
Bad.
yeah, like it's annoying, right? It's really annoying to me because this is a kind of spoken word poem thing by Aaron Weiss, who is the lead singer of Me Without You. I am a big fan of their debut album, Catch Me with the Foxes. I think it's fantastic, and I
Don't know
love
it.
his voice. You should really listen to it. It's really good.
Is it
His
pop
voice,
punk?
it's a little grungy is the wrong word, but
That
it's
thing.
like yeah, it's kind of rocky. It's a little darker.
Mm.
Um, but I love his voice. His voice has so much like character and texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the very start of this is him kind of reading a letter that Haley Williams sent to him, which is her saying like, fans come up to me after the show and say that I'm perfect, and all I hear is you can do no wrong in my eyes.
Mm.
So it's really kind of continuing the ideas of idol worship and feeling kind of stuck with his fame, but you can't hear half the shit because of it's how it's
Yeah.
like so low in the mix.
Why? I honestly, it annoyed me so much I didn't even bother to properly read the lyrics, because it's just infuriating. Because the instrumentation sounds pretty cool. That guitar loop, there's some rhythmic weirdness going on there that I don't know how to describe. The drum sounds chosen are cool, but I'm just like constantly straining to hear what he's saying. It's just not worth the effort.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
shouldn't have to try hard to listen to music.
yeah, exactly. Exactly, and it's difficult to listen and enjoy it, and it annoys me because I think this could be great. I think this, but
Yeah.
I don't know what he's saying. I can't hear it, and yeah, I mean that's really it.
Now we get on to the wet fart of an ending.
Oh,
I'm
are you
sorry.
serious?
You don't like Tell Me How, do you?
I love Tell Me How. This is we're on a complete opposite page. My first like line on my notes here is love this as an outro song.
What? Okay, right. I don't have a huge amount to say about this song, but that piano, the composition is so boring. It's just rocking back and forth. It's like, oh, it's infuriating. After all the exciting instrumentation we've had, just to fall on this, it's
Oh no, it's you have this big pop album and you're ending on this kind of real
but
stripped back,
that you can be stripped back
vulnerable
and use
moment.
cool composition, not this boring stuff. I don't like this. I don't like this.
Oh no, I really like the piano. There's just I don't know what the sound is. I'm not gonna try to describe it because I can't. Just listen to it. But the kind of texture behind it is really nice. And when there's a whole album of sadness masked behind a pop sound, it makes this feel so like pulling the kind of the mask off, you know?
I I just it fails to convey that so spectacularly for me.
Oh my god.
It's such a stagnant song. Um, Sort of thematically, it's pretty cool, like reflecting on past friendships and relationships. But just man, it's boring, boring, boring.
No, it's beautiful, and this idea of narratively, it's kind of ending things slightly unresolved. Like there's not she's not happy and solved and got it all figured out by the end. It's like, God, what? I don't know what to do. How do I deal with you as a person? How do I deal with what I'm doing? And I really like that, especially as an ending to what is basically a pop album. Going, God, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's cool, but music's got to sound good. The music's got to sound good, and just to me, it doesn't in this case at all.
Look, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree here.
We're just gonna have to agree that I'm right and you're wrong, and that's okay.
God, you're editing this episode, so you could make me sound like anything. It'd be funny, like, yes, Jonah is right.
Quality. Yeah. On the whole, this is a good album. I like this.
This is a great album.
The highs are high, the lows are low and annoying, but it ultimately is a very strong listen, and you should listen to it because I think you might like it. I don't know you, but I think you might like it.
We've known each other for like 10 years.
Not you. I'm talking the personification of our audience, Connor.
Right, your mum.
Yes. Just listen to this album, Mom. Now, my mom doesn't even listen to this. No one's listening.
Yeah, no, I think this album's great. I love it. I'm really glad we did this album because I hadn't really dove into it like as a full album in quite a while. It was a little bit nostalgic for me, and I came to it with new life experience, and I just got a lot out of it. I really like this album. I think it's their best one, and they're in the studio again.
Yeah,
I saw recently, so I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, I'll be there day one for a new Paramore album. That'll be sick. Quickly, thoughts on the album cover?
I like it. Yeah, I don't love it, but I like it.
I hate the like just weird abstract 3D shapes. It's just annoying.
I like it.
It feels fairly random. Colors are cool, but meh. It doesn't communicate anything about the album at all.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any strong feelings on it. It is what it is. Wouldn't put it on my wall, but it doesn't offend me either. But yeah, that's it from us. We haven't spoken about this beforehand, but we're doing Brockhampton next time. Yes.
Yeah, I forgot about that, but yeah.
Can we do Ginger?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we're doing Ginger. All
That's
right.
gonna be fun.
Yeah, follow us on TikTok. Go like all our stuff. We're making cool content. We just posted a whole bunch of stuff. And follow us on Instagram. Tell your friends about this podcast.
Or don't if you want them to like you.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Goodbye.